This is the magicwordpodcast.com.
Hello, this is Scott Wells for the magicwordpodcast.com. This week we're going to be visiting with Tony Hassini. He is a gentleman who has been around for a long number of years and is best known, of course, for heading up the International Magic Society, which is the world's largest magic organization. And we go into some detail about why it is that, or how it is, he got all these members, and also about the awards that he gives each annually and different places around the world. Anyhow, have a great conversation about that. Plus, a little bit of unknown fact, you may not have known that he was the one who was responsible for the magic of Burger King, so we get into that a little bit as well. There's lots to discuss here this week, and I appreciate you guys coming back and listening to this episode. I also suggest that if you have an opportunity, please make sure that you subscribe to our pod letter. Just go to themagicwordpodcast.com, and there you should see a pop-up that will come up and say subscribe to our pod letter. Please do, so this way you get to keep up to date with all of the information that we have, that is who's going to be on from week to week, who's coming up next week. We've got some suggestions from the archives. If we have contests, you're the first to know, and also some information when we have sponsors about whatever it is that they have to offer, as well as other links that I think that you would enjoy. It's just a weekly newsletter that comes through MailChimp that's been very helpful to us. Anyhow, got a lot to talk about here today with our friend Tony Hassini. So we have been talking about getting together for such a long time, and we were finally able to sit down via Zoom and enjoy this chat today, which I hope that you enjoy as well. Please welcome my guest, Mr. Tony Hassini, here on The Magic Word. Today we're going to be talking with someone who has been kind of in the foreground of magic for so many years, but in the background for me, in which we have been trying to get together to talk, and we have seen each other many times, like at the Magi Fest in Columbus and many other places, where it's like, hey, let's get together, and time got into a crunch and we were unable to do it. And so the only way I think we're going to be able to do it is like we're doing it now, is just via a Zoom meeting, and that is with Tony Hassini. Tony's a very busy guy and has been pretty much all of his life. He's been involved in marketing and promotion, and with some of the major things that you guys have heard of, and we're going to get into and talk about then. Obviously, the thing that you know him, he's best known for, is the creator of the International Magic Society, the IMS, which has been going on for several decades. And also, he is someone who was working with an advertising agency who was responsible for the magic of Burger King. And I want to talk a little bit about that. So first of all, hello, Tony. How are you?
Hey, Scott. Finally, we are going to do it.
Yes, we are.
Good. I'm good.
Good. Glad to hear that. Yeah, I remember when we had talked one time, and you had given me a long explanation. And it was quite fascinating. And I mean, I thought we could do like a whole podcast basically on Burger King, the magic of Burger King. How did that, before we get into the IMS, how did that kind of get started, and what year was that? That was probably in the 70s?
1977.
Okay.
But year before, I went out pitching to so many advertising agencies. I had an idea that they can create a character, whatever the product might be, and then the character will be doing magic to promote the product.
Sure.
And every one of them said it's not going to work. Nothing happened. But a year later, I got a call from JWT, the advertising agency, and we went with it. Basically, the Marvelous Magical Burger King was a character with red hair. Everything was put on. It's an actor. He could sing and do some magic way to teach magic.
Sure.
Red hair, red beard, the king costume, the crown. And he starts out, I'm the Marvelous Magical Burger King. I can do most anything. I love magic and fun. I love fun for everyone. At Burger King, yeah. And then the magic goes into it.
Introducing that king of fun, the one who's okay with us kids, the Magic Burger King!
In person?
Yay!
I'm the marvelous, magical Burger King. I can do most anything. Now watch me, kids, when I twist my ring like magic.
We're at Burger King! It's my magic Burger King.
I'm the marvelous, magical Burger King. I can do most anything. I love magic and food that's fun. So I'll make a burger disappear, make it come back here. Turn apples into pies right before your eyes. Turn onions into rings.
As we can see.
Put a shiver in the shake. It's easy for me. I'm the marvelous, magical Burger King. I can do most anything. I love magic and food that's fun. So
You got fun for everyone. Burger King, yay!
Those of you guys want to see some of these commercials, you can go to the International Magician Society's website, which is www.IMS, that's International Magician Society, imsmagic.com. And then go into the menu, scroll down to Burger King commercials, enjoy. So, it lasted for 6 years, Scott.
Mhm.
We did over 200 commercials. Lot of people come to me, and that was a different lifetime. It's like I lived 10 lives. At the moment I'm talking to you, I'm 84 years old, and so it's like
I would not have guessed that.
there was, I take care of myself.
Well, you really do. You look a lot
Yeah.
younger than 84.
Someday we should do a podcast on get old, but get old gracefully, and
Mhm.
and all not to do's, and it's very simple. People write they write books on healthy eating. It's just they want to sell books. I can tell you in one page, what you gotta do to stay healthy, mind and body. But let's talk magic now. We do that.
But yeah,
you
on the
have
magic
enough
on the Magic of Burger King, I assume that those were all filmed you're in the New York City area. Is that correct?
No, we start shooting them in LA,
In LA, okay.
and then we start shooting them in New York, and they were giving me a problem. The unions in New York are very, very tough. And I was the only guy that I wasn't a union guy. So they complained to Local 52. And my guy, Ed Kahn, he was my producer. He comes over and says, Tony, we're having a problem. They called the union, and Mike Porsche was the president of the union. He says, he's on his way here. I says, okay, listen, when he gets here, tell him that I'm the guy that I create this character and I create this whole thing, and that I'll take it from there. So the limo pulls over, and Mike Porsche comes out, and all these union guys, they run over, they're kissing his ring, all that nonsense. And eventually he talks to Ed Kahn, and Ed brings him over, and hi, Tony. He introduced me himself. I said, hi, Mike. No, I said, hi, Mr. Porsche. He said, no, call me Mike. Hi, Mike. He says, these guys, they're complaining and da-da-da. And I said, Mike, Florida is dying for me to take this job to Florida. It's non-union. And I don't want to take it to Florida. This is my home. This is where I live. I'd rather keep it here. And if it has to be that I got to join the union, I'll take the test and join the union. He says, you already passed the test. You coming in Wednesday night, we're going to swear you in. I might be the only guy in the
IATSE.
union. Yeah, the only guy that probably didn't take the test. So I went in Wednesday night, they swear me in, and everything was cool after that. But it's politics. Everybody wants to protect their train.
Sure, I understand. But back at that time, now Ronald McDonald, I assume, had been an ongoing character for McDonald's successfully before that you had introduced Burger King. So in other words, Ronald came first. Isn't that right?
Well, that's correct, because I was going to NYU, New York University Film School. And in film school, they don't just teach you film, they teach you everything,
Sure.
Even history of film. And this guy came up, Richard Albane. Everybody called him Big Albane. He owned a studio in Van Nuys, still there. His grandchildren running it is A&A Special Effects. They might have changed the name to A&A Studios now because they bought a lot of land and they built studios. Richard Almain, he was one of the early guys in the Hollywood days where he did the Three Stooges and he did the I Dream of Jeannie and all the effects, beautiful stuff. So I decided I'm gonna call him up and see if I can work as an intern. This is before the Burger King commercials.
Right.
So I called. Those days we didn't have what we got now, you know. I had to go through the hard way to find the phone number, you know. And I got I think it was a 411, used to call 411 and you asked the number. I got the phone and I called up and lady answered, and I assumed it was the secretary. Actually, it was Dolores, Richard Almain's wife, which we became very good friends later on. So Dolores answers the phone. She says, "A&A Special Effects, can I help you?" I said, "Yes, ma'am. My name is Tony Hassini. I'm a film student at NYU, and I'm also a magician. I do magic and support my studies." And she cuts me off. She says, "Dick loves magic." right there. And then I'm like, "Oh,
you're done."
God.
Okay. Yeah. Wow.
So I said I'm wondering if it's possible for me to come out and, you know, work as an intern with him. She said, "Let me find him." So it seems like a long time. It might have been 1 minute, but you know, when you're waiting, it seems a long time. So he gets on the phone and says, "You're a magician, eh?" I said, "Yes, sir." He says, "Get your ass on that plane and come out of here."
Wow.
I got on a plane. I got there. We became very good friends. And I was working with him at the McDonald's commercials. You know, he was the only Ronald McDonald's. Every Ronald McDonald commercial, he did all the gags.
Oh.
And the Ronald McDonald, the guy, his name was King Moody. There was hundreds of Ronald McDonald's, you know, duplicates running around. But the guy in the commercials, King Moody, he was a stuntman.
Okay.
He had driving stuntman. He had a bunch of drivers, and they used to, the team of drivers, they used to do all kinds of stunts. And I got to know him well. And so one day we're shooting, and you know, we have a studio. It's like L shape, a wall and a wall. There's nothing on this side. Cameras and lights here. There's no ceiling. The lights are up there. But that L shape is inside the McDonald. It looks like you're in McDonald.
There's a sound studio, I guess.
Oh yeah, of course,
Yeah.
sound studio. But it just looks like we're shooting inside the McDonald's.
Sure.
So everybody's excited. You know, I said, "What's going on?" They said, "Ray Croc. Ray Croc is coming." Well, I know about Ray Croc. I read about him. He's the founder of McDonald's.
Correct.
And I read about him in Life magazine. And he had 5 different businesses, and they all failed. The McDonald's was the sixth that made it. So I decided I'm going to ask this guy. I mean, he failed 5 times.
Sure.
There's got to be a secret.
There's got to be some lessons to be learned there. Yeah.
So he comes over, and you know, and I had this invisible thread, you know, invisible strings. They're like a monofilaments, but much thinner, and they'll shine. All invisible threads shine. So to get rid of the shine, the best way, you get a hairspray, brown, not black. It just it makes it dull, and it doesn't shine. So I was controlling whatever it was, and every time we did a take, we didn't use the same one. We throw it away. I had 50 of them all set up. I'll go there, take them out from the scotch tape, and set them up. And he's watching me. Ray Croc is watching me. I was a young Turk those days, you know, running around. And I know he was impressed. So they KK their lunch. You know, the truck comes over and everybody goes with it. And we all eating and everybody's quiet. You can drop a pin. So I got up and I walked over to Ray Croc. I said, "Sir," I know he knew me. He watched me work. I said, "Sir, I read your life story in Life magazine, and I read that you tried 5 businesses, and I was about to say that they didn't work out." And he cuts me off. He says, You mean to say I failed 5 times miserably? This guy, Scott, he was like an army sergeant. God. I said, no, sir. I meant to say that things didn't work out for you, and I wanted to learn from you. When I grow up, I want to be like you.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I'd like you to tell me the secret. I'd like you to tell me, what works. He looks me up. He says, Kid, I'm going to tell you what works. But first, I'm going to tell you what doesn't work. I said, yes, sir. He says, are you ready? He says, yes, sir. I'm like the soldier. I said, yes, sir. And he says, education, it doesn't make it. There's so many people educated that can't even get a job.
Mm-hmm.
He says, desire? You know anybody doesn't have desire to be rich? A talent? There's so many talented people on the Skid Road. A hard work. Everyday man goes to his grave working hard. And Scott, I tell you, he went down a line. Everything you and I, we can say that if you do these things, you're going to make it. Yeah. He says, it's not going to make it. Just not going to make it. And I'm thinking, shit, I'm not going to make it. I thought talent or hard work or I'm not going to make it. He says, are you ready now? I said, yes, sir. Persistence. You got to stay with it. You fall down, you get up, brush yourself, keep going. Persistence. He says, I failed 5 times. McDonald's the 6th. McDonald's had failed. I would have kept going on. You have to stay with it.
Good advice. Wow.
It is persistence. But I got to tell you this, while we're on this subject, there's an old saying, you have to be at the right place, right time.
Sure.
That might be true. But if you not prepare, that opportunity is going to pass you by like a wind in a summer night. So you can be at the right time, right place, and many people were at the right time, right place, then make it for them. You need to be prepared. You need to be ready to jump in. We'll come back to Burger King, but I'm not going to try to promote a product or sell a product. I don't do that. But I want to talk about back in the 90s. I went out and I wanted to create a whole video set similar to Tarbell course. And I went out and I hired the best magicians at the time. Those are the experts. Like Harold Lorraine was an expert with cards. I got Harold Lorraine. Johnny Thompson was an expert with a number of things. I got him. So I got Jay Marshall, puppeteering. I got Jay Marshall doing the lefty in a theater, the Blackstone Theater. Long story short, I got the best magicians, and I put together 50 full set of videos called the Magic Academy. It covers every subject in magic. Every subject, doesn't matter what, from A to Z. Whether it's a stage hypnotism or a black art or pickpocketing. I mean, those are art balls, but everything in between it covers. And when I do lectures, and I don't do quite often, but when I do, I tell magicians, I says, listen, you don't have to be able to perform it, but you should really know your art. You should know how everything works, because when the right time comes, if an opportunity comes, you can jump in it and make it happen.
That goes back to what you were saying that Ray Croc had taught you as far as having the preparation whenever it meets opportunity in order to have that success.
Exactly.
Well, I thought that was brilliant then as well. But I mean, certainly, I have always been a proponent of saying that even if you're a close-up guy, you should understand stage work and vice versa. You should understand black art. You should understand all these other kinds of things, because at some point it might come into work with whatever your thing is. But what I was going to say is I thought it was a brilliant idea when you had created then the IMS, because as I recall back at that time, with each video that you purchased, you automatically became a member of the IMS.
Right.
And so you got a certificate with that. And so that's what made it the largest magic organization
society
in the world.
Yeah. Well, we got into Guinness World Records as the world's largest magic organization. But I just want very briefly to get into it. I come from a very small island in Mediterranean. You see it sometime in news, Cyprus, because it's closer to Israel and that hot spot area, Cyprus. I come from a very poor family. Probably we were the poorest people in the island, poverty. On the top of that, I was born in 1941, middle of the war. I'm born deaf. I wear hearing aids, very powerful ones. Up until I was fitted with a hearing aid, I couldn't hear, so I didn't speak until I was 3 years old. I have a dyslexia. It's very normal. It's a syndrome with boys. Rarely girls gets it. And if you do research on dyslexia, a lot of geniuses have dyslexia. That's because we see everything in mirror image. We see everything in reverse. Steven Spielberg, he wrote about it. He said it takes him twice as long to read the script. He has dyslexia. He said, well, that's good. Yeah, I digest it as I read it. So I had a dyslexia because when you have a dyslexia, you're a slow reader or writer. And I failed my first grade in the school. And you know how kids can be very cruel.
Very. Very
cruel. So I was picked on, couldn't make it. I left the island. I was 15 years old, went to London because Ireland was a British island, so you could just go there. You didn't need a visa. Didn't speak English. I had to start all over again, learn a language. I washed dishes, shine shoes, every kind of dirty job. At 16, I got lucky. I got a job in a magic shop. Tony Corinda wrote the 13th Step to Mentalism.
Right.
He had a number of magic shops. The Tottenham Court Road magic shop. I got a job in there. I mean, I was working in a restaurant and going there every day, very early, like 7 in the morning. And once a week on Thursday, the boss says I got to stay home, help his wife with a 5-gallon kerosene drums. They in England, there's no central heating. I don't know if they have it now. Back then, they had the kerosene heaters in the middle of the room. So you had to, so I'll carry those heavy things and all that. So I'm going to work at 10 o'clock. Magic shop was open. And Ali Bongo was behind the counter. And I looked at this guy, and he was actually, he had a matchbox back of his hand, and the darn thing will just move and it stand up and open. And they're like,
right.
I can't believe this. I walked in. For me, magic was what you read in the Bible, right? So, and he sees me. He knows he has a customer. He knows he's going to sell. He said, you want to see that? I said, yeah. He shows it to me. He says, you want to buy? I said, for sale? How much? $500,000. It's 2.5 shillings. So I give him the money. He gives me an envelope. I opened up. Man, I can't read English. Those are my early days, you know.
Right.
I was still going to night school trying to learn English.
Right.
I says, me no read English. He says, dumb foreigner. He takes the envelope, the instruction, put under the counter, walks over, stands next to me, and he shows me. It's the best way to learn.
Sure.
I mean, if you want, if someone wants to teach you one-on-one, the guy stands next to you, watch him. And he showed me. I took that down, matchbox, run home. I didn't go to work. And I practiced it until afternoon. I went back. He sold me the vanishing cigarette. I didn't smoke, but I always had a pack of cigarette rolled up there. That's what teenagers do.
That's what they did back then, yeah.
You know, because you want to give a cigarette to girls so you pick up a date.
Sure.
So I give him a cigarette. He lights the cigarette and, you know, with the pulley, with the elastic that goes into the tube and then let it go and flies.
Right.
Vanishes. And it vanishes the lit cigarette. Oh my God.
I got to have that too.
He says that empty. So I bought. He showed me how it works. I went back home. And it was about 11 o'clock at night. I hear my boss. I used to live in their house. He didn't pay me that much. It was like a slave labor. He's yelling and screaming at his wife, Tony didn't show up today. And I'm up there practicing. So there was a glass of water. I stick my fingers in the water and I sprinkle into my face. And I turn the lights off and jump under the blankets. And I hear him coming up. And he comes up, opens the door and puts the lights on. I'm like lights is bothering me. He says, what's wrong with you? And I says, I'm hot. He comes over, Scott, he puts back of his hand on my forehead.
Yeah.
And he goes, you're burning.
Oh.
I realized back then that the power of suggestion, it works. And we magicians, we use this all the time.
Right.
He says, you better get better because it was, he's bitching and moaning, complaining. And he says, you don't have to come tomorrow. Stay, but get better soon. So next day, I go to the magic shop. I walk to Ali Bongo. And I said, I'd like to get a job here. Timing is everything. It was in October.
Okay.
And Corinda is getting ready because Christmas. Okay. September, October
right.
is the month. November comes in, man, it's the Christmas sales goes in key. And
Sure.
Corinda was manufacturing, making this stuff. We used to go to 5 and 10s, buys this stuff, and we used to make the magic kits, the whole magic sets.
Sure.
So he needed somebody. Not that I was intelligent or good looking or smart. I was at the right time. And he's behind the cash register. And I told Ali Bongo, I want to work here. He looks up and says, why you want to work here? I said to him, he's an older guy. He's behind the register. He's probably the boss.
Sure.
So I said, I just bought this yesterday. No, I'm sorry. I said, look, I want to show you. And I showed him the matchbox. And then I showed him the vanishing cigarette. But when I took the cigarette, light it up, and cigarette here, look at the matchbox.
Uh-huh.
And I put it into my pocket. And I saw the pulley.
Sure.
Come up with the pulley, and take a one puff, stick the cigarette into the holder, and just let it go. It flies under the jacket.
Right.
And I come up and I go, it was natural. For me, it was natural. And Ali Bongo says, blimey, he just bought that yesterday.
And you're already performing it. Yeah.
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 And so I knew later on that if it was any other time than close to Christmas, I probably wouldn't have a chance.
Did you ever have Ali as one of the performers on your VHS tapes and instructional tapes back then?
Yes, Ali Bongo, yeah, of course. Also, Patrick Page. Patrick Page was
another
working,
great one. Yeah.
Another great one. Listen, I broke my ass, get all the best magicians, and it's $800 for the 50 set. And we have it on sale for $400. And the IMS members gets it 50% off. It's $200.
Yeah.
For 50 volume videos, covers everything from A to Z, and membership. You still can get a membership to IMS at $19.95 for 3 years. We give it away. We always give it away. We have a membership for 10 years for $50. You get 12 videos. We always give it away. We never made money on the membership.
And you were saying that membership actually was the largest in the world, and is still the largest in the world, and was in the Guinness. How many members would you say are in the organization?
At that time, when we were listed in Guinness World Records, 2001, there's two types of Guinness World Records. One is the certificate, which is easy to get, very easy. I'm not trashing it. It doesn't have the requirements as being in a book.
Okay.
But if you're going to get printed in a book, they check you out.
Okay.
They send the people check out. The people came to our office, they went through our files, and they randomly picked names and called up. And if 8% was legit, then you're legit.
Right.
At that time, we had 23,000 members.
23,000. Wow. Yeah.
Today, we have over 57. I go to every year. I forgot to bring it. I want to show you. I have this program, guys. I organize magic festivals every year. Last year was the 16th anniversary. David Copperfield gave me a nice letter, congratulating us. President of the SAM.
John Stark?
No, the main assembly, Mother Assembly in New York,
Parent Assembly.
Parent Assembly.
Yeah.
Devlin, Joe Devlin.
Joe Devlin.
He also write a nice congratulation. So the Bangkok is 16 years that we've been doing it. Been China, Thailand, Indonesia, in India. I've been organizing magic festivals. I don't know how I got to that, but so yeah, the membership. So
when you say you have magic festivals, you mean there are festivals in these other countries you have that are sponsored by IMS?
Yes.
Okay.
But we don't put the money up. I find sponsors locally. In Thailand, we have one good sponsor that sponsors every year. In China, it's a little more difficult. Now that we're having problems in China, this year might be my last. I don't know if USA and China is going to resolve the issue, but my Chinese president, we have it, is going to be August 22nd to August 24th.
Right.
My party in Las Vegas, which I do it every year, present the Merlin Awards, is on August 7th, day after Magic Live. And then I get ready to go to China. So the membership grew because we extended, outside of USA. We went out and we got membership from all over the place, but we don't make money from the membership.
Are there other awards aside from the Merlin Awards that you give? In other words, you say that at the annual banquet where you're going to be presenting Merlin Awards, but you have these other festivals and things. Do you present other kinds of awards to other people for different kinds of things? And what are those?
Merlin Award is the only one. The only other thing we present is certificates of excellence and a medal. It's like a coin medal, hangs on a ribbon, and we present this medal and a certificate of excellence. We do that to encourage. As a matter of fact, when I created the Merlin Award, I started IMS 1968, July 1968. Handful of magicians here in New York. But 4 years before, 1964, that's when I created the Merlin Award. The Merlin Award was the nucleus, what was to come later, the IMS. I was working for Tannins. I was manufacturing. Came from England to USA, began manufacturing with Tannins, and I had this dream, this idea to create a fraternity that doesn't have the requirements all the other fraternities. Those days, I don't know what it is now, but you had to have two people to sponsor you, to bring you in, and you have to take a test. I didn't go through that. I fell into it, but I felt, and being shy and being deaf and being dyslexia and have a horrible life growing up, and when I discovered magic, it changed my life. I fell in love with magic at age 16. It's a love affair that lasts me a lifetime.
So you were trying to make it available to everyone.
I made my life goal to make it available for any kid that wants to learn. It's there, and it's not going to cost you a fortune. It's cheaper than the price of a sandwich at Subway sandwich. So that was my goal. But to accomplish that, Scott, words are cheap. You can say this, you can say that. I came up with a slogan to promote and preserve the art of magic. Sounds great on paper. Promote and preserve the art of magic. We got to deliver it. How do you deliver it? So I said, okay, to promote, I should come up with an award that will promote the magician and the magic. Okay, so I put out the word through the universities and art galleries, and I was giving a prize money for the winning statue. And I told them I need a magician pulling a rabbit out of a hat.
Sure. And
I had a number of them, and young lady, Carol Michaud, 18 years old, New York University Art School. She came in with the statues, what you see today. It's beautiful. Nothing changed. And I fell in love with the statue. I mean, one glance, my God.
Sure.
Then I fell in love with the young lady. So I went out of my way. I made friends. We became good friends. We dated, and a year later we got married.
Congratulations.
we thank you. We got raised 3 beautiful kids, and Carol died 2006.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And yeah, it's life, you know.
I do know. Like I
Yeah.
said, with my wife
So
passing too.
it's life. I
Well-
say when people die, I say it was their time to go, you know,
Mhm.
and I leave it at that. But let me get back to about the to promote and preserve the art of magic, because it's very important. So to promote the award, the magic, I wanted to create an award, but I couldn't present it. Nobody will take it seriously. I wanted to have 20,000 members to present it. So I waited, because in the beginning, you know, you couldn't get people to join. It's a joke. It's a little magic club. So it took time. And then the video came in, and that really made it possible. And like you said, I was giving away videos so cheap and giving the membership away. But once I had 23,000 members, I was David Copperfield, Siegfried and Roy. I mean, those are big names. We present the award to them.
Yeah, you kind of run out of names after a while, and so you kind of have to look at other places around the world. I mean, some of the names that I've seen who have received Merlin Awards, I had not heard of. That doesn't mean they're bad magicians by any means, but they're not on my radar.
But that's where I'm going with this. Initially, my idea was to create an award that will preserve and promote the art of magic. I didn't realize that it had an even greater goal. The greater goal is to motivate the recipient to be a better magician. Rocco with the lights, Rocco Solano.
Sure.
I presented the award to him in the 80s. Was it 70s? It's in the website. Anybody wants to know, by the way, guys, go to imsmagic.com and go to menu and just scroll down to, oh no, don't even go to menu. Right on the main page, it says History of IMS. Just click on it. Everything's there. The dates, the places, magazine advertisements, newspaper advertisements. It's dated. It's there.
Right.
It's not I say, it's printed. It's proven. Anyway, when I gave Rocco the award, he wrote me a little handwritten note. I still have it. I put it on the website. He said, Ton, this award motivates me to be a better magician. Oh, he called me Mr. Hassini. Mr. Hassini, he says, now he's calling me Ton. He says, this award motivates me to be a better magician. The very next year, Rocco went to Desert Seminar. He won everything.
He did.
He won the first prize, and he got the Siegfried and Roy Golden Lion Award.
Right.
And ever since then, many magicians who you and I would never heard of. But you see, Merlin Award is not for just chosen few.
How are those names brought to your attention? In other words, when there's someone in India or Yugoslavia or someone, how do you find out? I mean, are you watching?
Very easy. Anybody wants to get the Merlin Award and they have an act, they have something, they feel that they should get it, get in touch with us. You know, go to the website, send us an email. We like to see what you've done, what you accomplish. And you don't have to be the big name magician, because that award is going to help you pave the way for better jobs.
Right.
You know, promote your show. But it's going to make you want to be a better magician, because you're not in the class of some very elite magicians.
Is it an award also that can, I mean, sometimes it's awarded and other times can it be purchased? In other words, if someone says...
Okay, there is a rumor out there. I'm not going to mention his name because I didn't answer his tweets. I didn't want to give him any more than he deserved recognition. He had claimed he received the Merlin Award from us 2014 in Croatia, which he didn't. Total liars, because Danny Ortiz was on the same stage. And Danny D. Ortiz got the medal, so is he. We have his picture on the website. He's wearing the little medal, you know, the coin.
Yes, right.
But he came up, he says he got it, but then he decided he didn't want it and gave it away or what have you. And he says people can buy it. It's bullshit. Nobody can buy it. You can have all the money in the world, you cannot buy it.
Okay.
But if you want me to travel from New York to Italy, you have to pay my airlines,
Sure.
my hotel. Do you know any magician will travel to from New York City to Chicago and pay his own airline, his own hotel?
And they're paying you then to go and view their act, I guess.
No, we viewed the act before. We
Okay,
asked
so
them
why
to
do they
send us a
why are they
video
paying you to go to Italy then? Well, in that
to
case,
present the
oh,
award
to present
them
the award.
during
Okay,
the show. In other words, the guy feels that it's better for him if the chairman of IMS came to his country,
right.
presented to him during his show.
That makes sense.
He gets local PR and ticket sale.
Well,
Then he gets it from us here in USA.
well, speaking of rumors, I guess, and let me get to clarify this as far as how many people are on the panel or who decides and how is a person so judged to receive the Merlin Award, or is that just subjectively decided by you?
No, it's no different than any other recognition awards. You know, Magic Castle is a recognition award.
Yeah.
Oscars is a recognition award.
Well, those are by votes of the membership or by the board.
No, it's by the board. I don't think it's
Yeah.
membership. It's by the board. And same here. I have a board. I have my opinion. I also have a veto power. When I created IMS, I put a veto power so they won't replace me. I want to be with IMS until I die. Up until then, I can veto. If somebody wants the Merlin Award, and I just personally don't like him, you know, I'm human. You know, I'm
Sure.
human. I'm prejudiced. I'm prejudiced against bankers. I don't like bankers.
Okay.
You know, and I'm entitled to. So there's a guy out there, I don't like him. And my board says we should give it. I says, no, we're not going to give it to him. And maybe that's why I have few enemies, because
Because you could veto that way.
yeah,
I
I
guess.
can veto it. But
Well, what about
it's
upon
my
your-
baby.
Upon your death, will this go on? Is there someone or group
Yeah.
then will continue to award these?
Yeah.
Make
Yeah,
them
of
Merlin
course, of course.
Okay.
I have two sons. They're in their 50s.
And they're on the committee.
They're in the committee. They are prepared, groomed to take over. And my board of directors, many of them are magicians. They know this, and they're very supportive. So this is going to go on. But the big mistake these guys make when they criticize the Merlin Award is that they try to compare the Merlin Award with a competition award. It's two different animals. You know, 90% of awards given out, they're recognition awards.
And that's what I was referring to, let's say like with the Academy of Magical Arts, in which you have the close-up magician of the year, the parlor magician. You have some people who are nominated then who get a lot of votes by the members. And so that is a vote of the membership because it is a competition kind of a thing, as opposed to someone who is going to be receiving the magician of the year, which would be determined by, as I understand it, by the board rather than a vote of the membership. So it sounds like it's similar from the standpoint that you and your committee make a decision of who's going to be that magician of the year. And from that matter, it's confusing to me as to magician of the year versus illusionist of the year. I guess there's a close-up magician of the year. I mean, there are different categories that kind of sound similar. And so someone may, promote themselves using the wrong title from time to time.
I'm glad you said that. We're in the magic business, and that's what we do. We promote from day one. I wrote the history of magic from Stone Age to present day. If you want to learn about it, read my book. It's on my website. We're in business of promoting.
Sure.
And we should have even more titles, not less. The population of China is over 1 billion people. We're presenting a handful of awards there this year. And some titles you never heard of. Doesn't matter. Intention of the Merlin Award is to promote the magician. It's not for other magician to downgrade it. And it happens. You know, Daninger, Joseph Daninger, was the greatest mentalist of the 20th century. He was just as popular as Houdini. You go study it and see. He's the only guy, he's the only guy had his show on 3 major networks.
On the radio.
Yeah. Oh, first radio. He had the radio syndications, then the networks. Not even Frank Sinatra had his show on 3 networks. Joe Daninger did.
Mm-hmm.
What did magicians do? Keep bad-mouthing him. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because he didn't tell the public that he's doing tricks. Hey, do you tell people that you just did a double lift? Do you tell the audience,
Of course
you know
not.
what? I did a double lift. This is the business we're in.
Right.
This is what we chose. We're in the business of promoting, hyping. That's what we do. How
Mm-hmm.
about Thurston? Had the vanishing horse, the $20,000 horse. It's a black art. Didn't cost him no more than $500. He claimed it was a $20,000 illusion.
Right.
That's what we do. That's our business.
You
And
promote that.
if you don't understand promotion, you shouldn't be in the magic business. Sorry.
That's a good point. One thing too, also talking about magicians versus illusionists or whatever, I know you also differentiate by you have the female magician or female illusionist then as well. At this point where we are in this generation, an understanding where we have male and female and trans and different kinds of things, are you going to continue to differentiate and as far as identifying females, or just say magician of the year, or include women with that?
When Oscars stop giving the Oscar to the
Good point.
best female and best male actor, then I will follow them.
Good point.
Until then, I won't take advice from magicians. They're the worst people to take advice from. Seriously.
Mm-hmm.
How many of them are making it? And we should talk about where magic is going not. Instead of worrying about this now, where is magic going right now? Where is it? What's happening now?
A lot of stuff happening on the internet. I mean, that's kind of the next generation where people certainly are learning. We're talking about watching it on videos and then on digital, and so now it is pretty much all online where people are learning and sharing ideas. So but where is it going to be going from there? Would be another step. Who knows?
That's another step, and we should be concerned more about where we've been, how far we came, and where we're going, and how we should get there. That should be our primary concern. Rather than selfishness and jealousy and belittling. There's no room for it. I'm looking at the politicians. It's crazy what's going on in our country. I'm looking at our nation here, divided nation, over stupid things. And this is the greatest country in the world, and we're screwing it up because I don't know. Maybe it's misdirection. Maybe the politicians put out a bunch of misdirections for us not to see the real picture. I think we're gonna do a couple of more of these podcasts and take different subjects each time.
Well, we have gone off on several tangents. Each of one can be a separate individual podcast then as well. Going back again to the criteria when you are judging and with you and your committee and making decisions, and you're saying sometimes people will say, "Hey, I want you to consider me," and so you do look at them, or are there people who you have in mind saying, "I think this would be a person or the category that we should award somebody here this year." I guess I'm asking, what is the criteria for your judging? In other words, when I go to a contest, and this is not a contest, this is a recognition, basically, which is different from a contest. But in a contest, you'd say, what's the audience appeal? How were they dressed? Did they have something different and creative? Did they move magic forward? Did they use music properly? I mean, there's so many different categories that you kind of look at all those and add them all up and determine. Judging is one thing, as opposed to what you're doing, in which you're going to be saying, you're the person that I am recognizing this year as being worthy to receive this Merlin Award because of what you have done for the community. So is there a criteria you look at, or is it just something you wake up one morning and say, yeah, I think that Joe Blow or Jill Smith would be the right person this year?
Both.
Okay.
I'll tell you why. No,
Good answer.
Both.
I understand.
I'll tell you why. Chris Angelo was struggling to make it. He was almost 40 years old and got his mother to borrow money against the house. His father passed away from cancer. And he struggling. And I know him from when I was young. I watched him grow. And when it came to presenting the award, it was my decision against my board. My main guy, God bless his soul, Max Toth, he was the chairman for the Merlin Awards. I said to him, I'm going to present the Magician of the Year to Chris Angel. He had nothing. He's a little dinky show in the basement. He said, are you out of your mind? He says, they're going to run you out of town. I said, it's okay. Let them run me out of town. I will somehow find my way back again. But that's my gut feeling. My gut feeling says that this guy deserves this title, and this title is going to help him to get where he wants to go. He took the Merlin Award, and his ticket sale went off the roof, Magician of the Year. People were waiting online. The Lionsgate came to see his show. They were talking. He came to me and says, could you consider me for Magician of the Year next year? I said, yes. He says, no, sorry. I'm getting forgetful. He says, could you give me my second Merlin Award? So I want to say that I got Magician of the Year two times on a roll, or 2 consecutive years. I said, Chris, I can't do that because you have to wait until next year. We'll present them once a year. And to his credit, he said, okay, could you give me a letter that I am considered to get the Magician of the Year next year? I gave him a letter. He went back to Lionsgate. They gave him $350,000. And he produced his first TV show, Supernatural. He went for his third Merlin Award, and he sold the idea to the A&E. He sold him the idea for a TV show. And I told Chris, I said, Chris, don't make the same mistake David Blaine did. You know, David Blaine puts out a show and disappears and comes back a year later, maybe sometime longer. Go there and do a show every day. And if you cannot do it every day, do it every week. If you cannot do it every week, do it every month. But do it constantly. He sold him a show. He got Chris Angel is the only guy that used that Merlin Award for every step. Every time he was going to make a deal with some corporation, some sponsor, somebody used the award. And I'm guilty of it. But I'm proud of it also. I say I'm guilty of it because I was part of the plan. I decided I'm going to go along against my board of directors. Most of my by the second Merlin Award, most of the directors, they were all in it. The first award, the very first award, they told me I was crazy. So you need to do both. You need to get opinions. You need to talk to people. You need to look at their act. You also have to listen to your inner voice. Your inner voice is the one that is going to guide you best.
That's
and
a good
if you
point.
cannot do that, seriously, I don't care what you do in life, whether it's a butcher, you're a carpenter, or president of the United States. If you cannot listen to that inner voice, you're not in charge. You're not doing it.
That's a very good point, because also if you're listening to people around you who are making suggestions, you're just going to be going to the winds. You're going to be going here and there. You're really not going to be focusing and going in a direction. But you have to listen to that inner voice and keep following that path. It goes back to what you were saying that Ray Croc had inspired you to do, is be persistent. And you have a vision, a goal, a dream in mind. Follow it, and that's the only way to get there, certainly.
Well, look. Magic Castle, right? Who is the founder of Magic Castle?
Larson's.
Milt Larson, exactly. Milt Larson. His brother William didn't come in later on. Milt saw the building. He made the deal, handshake. He built it. Milt Larson is the founder of Magic Castle. He was the president of Magic Castle until he passed away. The Magic Castle had other presidents like the Academy of Magical Arts, but he was the president lifelong. He accepted, and he loved it, the Merlin Award. Okay? So if some idiot out there says, oh, this award is not worth getting it, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Take David Burglas, one of the greatest magicians in England. He was one of the longest serving presidents of Magic Circle. He has 3 Merlin Awards, not 1, but 3.
Wow.
He also said to me, this is a beautiful Magic Award. So the award has its place. And and president of SAMs and IBMs, they all accepted this award.
It does. Those who I have visited, and they proudly have them on display, like Terry Evans Wood and so many others. They put them in the Zubriks, etc. They put these awards where the public can see them, and they also make sure that you see them when you walk out of their theater or walk by. It's like this is very important to them.
Right, right. So it has its place, and 90% of magicians are supportive. Less than 10%, the jealous guys, they just don't like it. They put out rumors. Anybody wants to know, go to IMS website. History of Magic, it's all there.
Have you ever had to take one back or rescind it and feel as if that the person no longer deserved to have that award?
Yes, I threatened 2 magicians to take it away, that awards, because in our bylaws, we don't like somebody taking somebody else's act and doing it exactly the same way.
Okay.
It doesn't fly. You're entitled to take the illusions, the props, as long as you do it your own way. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But word to word, like the amazing Kreskin talk the Daninger act, word to word, even copy the name. Daninger was known as Amazing Daninger.
Mm-hmm.
And the Kreskin called himself Amazing Kreskin. That's no. That's not going to fly. So I did threaten 2 magicians, both pretty famous, and we worked it out. I don't want to mention their name.
No, I understand.
Because it's not fair.
But it has to do with the fact that they had stolen or used some proprietary routine or whatever. So it doesn't necessarily mean, I mean, I know sometimes in people's lives, they are later found that maybe they go to jail, they kill somebody, or they become a criminal for whatever reason. I don't know whether that's happened or not, whether there's been some heinous crime. Would that justify you taking that back?
I really don't know, because
That's a good question.
I was not sitting on that jury.
Yeah.
No, I didn't
exactly.
See. I know the verdict. Let's say a guy went to jail, right? Let's say a magician got an award and went to jail.
Yeah.
And
so there's an idea. For an example, let's say it's a children's magician. I don't know whether this has happened or not, in which you've given a children's magician trophy to someone, and then later he's found of pedophilia and goes and serves time in jail. Would you then consider taking back that trophy?
I got to do a lot of soul searching, because I know a guy went to jail. He was not guilty. Supposedly he had some videos in his hard drive, external hard drive, of child pornography.
Wow.
Okay, and there was no proof by the FBI or the prosecutors that he put it there, but his partner, which they were breaking up, had an access to that computer. They were living in the same house.
I see.
And his partner had access to the computer and password. And his partner possibly would have purchased them with the magician's password, and set him up, and he's going to rot in jail. I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
Because I know the story. So I will be really soul searching, unless I was in the jury and I seen all the facts, to take that guy's award.
Okay.
Rather than somebody totally copy somebody's act, word to word, move to move. That is clear. That is ethics.
Yeah, I understand. Well, we talked about a lot of things and kind of went all over the board, and I appreciate the time that you've given me over here. And I want to wrap up then, because the name of my podcast is called The Magic Word. I want to wrap up with your word, or what is it that's your philosophy of life? We've kind of talked about this, but tell me what's important to you.
50 years from now, they used to say 100 years from now, nobody's going to remember and nobody's going to care. I changed that to 50 years. 50 years from now, nobody's going to remember, and nobody's going to care. Dark hunting hasn't been 50 years yet. Hardly anybody other than magicians remembers them. So don't take it too seriously. Enjoy your life. Enjoy your day. Go out and walk a little bit, just a little bit. You don't have to run around. Smell the flowers. Enjoy your life. And don't take granted of people that love you. That is the biggest mistake most people will do, because they take granted of people closest to them, because they know the people close to them will never let them down. And then they realize after those people passed that
how important they were.
things, yes. So my advice, day by day, man, you live your life, forget about politics, forget about
Exactly.
trash talking.
Don't let the stress bother you there.
Look at me, I'm 84. I'm still running all over the world. I do, in any given year, I do at least 12 international traveling to different countries. I enjoy every bit of it. I look forward to it. I have extended families in these countries, people waiting to see me, and I feel good about it. And yet I'm very humble. I don't go working like I'm the king and you guys owe it to me. I'm down on my hands and knees eating with them if they're eating on the floor.
Sure.
So just be yourself. Don't pretend it. Don't let it go.
Yeah,
Life is too short.
Life's too short. Don't take it too serious. Tony,
Scott, I enjoy our conversation. I really do, and I hope we do that other one. We have so many things to cover.
Indeed. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time there, Tony. And I know that the rest of the listeners have gotten a lot out of this and probably want to go back and listen a second time then as well. And again, they should be going to www.imsmagic.com for more information. Thanks again, Tony.
And they should click on History of IMS.
History of IMS.
History of IMS right on the main page.
There you go.
And they'll learn so much. If they want to learn about magic history, then they can click on my book, History of Magic. Then it's all there. It's free.
Sounds great. It's a free book? Great.
It's a free book. I didn't write the book to make money. Like most of the things I do for magic, I'm not doing it because I'm going to make money. I love doing it. And it keeps me alive.
Well, I can tell. That's what keeps you young. It does. Tony, thanks very much. I appreciate your time. So for the Magic Word Podcast, that was Tony Hassini. This is Scotty out. Thank you very much, Tony. I appreciate you being our guest today and for your candidness, your honesty. I felt like there were a few hard questions that I wanted to pose to you, and thank you for handling those. And I know this is an important thing that you're doing, and it is something that a lot of magicians have been using in their promotion and advertising to help launch themselves into even better careers. So thank you for all that you have done and continue to do, even into your 80s here with promoting magic. And I also again want to welcome people who are members of the Magic Word, who have, I should say, friends of the Magic Word, those who have financially helped us with your sponsorship by providing your monthly pledges or an ongoing donation from time to time that you can do through PayPal or through patreon.com. Thank you very much. If you have not yet done that and you do have some financial ability to give us some assistance, we would appreciate that. That helps to defray all of the many costs that we've got associated with this podcast that has to do with our domain charges, our hardware and software, attending magic conventions, and so many other expenses that are associated with this that allows us to bring this to you week to week. Well, until next week, stay well, get booked, and remember to not take yourself too seriously, because in the end, this really is just for entertainment, and it is a lot of fun. And where will it be in 50 years from now? But it is important right now, so do the best you can and be persistent. This is Scotty out.